Every single one of us is given the exact same gift each day, 24 hours. Yet somehow some people use those hours to build extraordinary lives, while others remain trapped in the same place for years. The reason is not intelligence, it is not talent, and it is definitely not luck. The real difference lies in how we choose to use our time. Most people live with the quiet belief that tomorrow will always come. Because of that belief, we delay what truly matters. We push our dreams aside. We postpone growth. And little by little, without even noticing, we spend the most valuable resource we will ever have, time, on things that do not move our lives forward. This is the story of a young boy with enormous potential, a boy who had everything he needed to succeed. Yet one destructive habit slowly pulled him backward and nearly erased his future. Stay with this story until the end, because what happened to him may completely change the way you see time and the way you live your own life. I was once that boy. As a child, I lacked nothing. My parents loved me unconditionally and did everything they could to protect me. My teachers believed in me and saw promise in my abilities. I lived in comfort, surrounded by safety, support, and opportunity. From the outside, my life looked perfect. But beneath that comfort, I carried a habit that quietly poisoned my progress. I delayed everything. When my mother asked me to clean my room, I always answered, "I'll do it later." When my teachers assigned homework, I told myself there was still plenty of time. When my friends invited me to join extra classes or learn new skills, I smiled and said, "Maybe next time." That later became my favorite word. Days slipped into months. Months quietly turned into years. While my classmates pushed themselves forward, learning, improving, growing, I remained stuck in the same place. They developed new abilities. They worked harder. They prepared for the future. I did nothing. I was like a tree that refused to grow, standing still while the entire forest around it reached toward the sky. When the exams finally arrived, reality hit me without mercy. I failed, badly. That failure shattered something deep inside me. I withdrew from everyone. I spent my days alone in dark rooms, replaying every missed chance, every delayed decision, every wasted moment. Regret became my constant companion. My family watched me slowly disappear, and fear filled their eyes. One day, overwhelmed by confusion and frustration, I left my home without a plan. My feet carried me toward a nearby forest. I walked until my thoughts grew quiet, then sat by the edge of a river, staring at the moving water while my mind spiraled. That was when I noticed thin smoke rising behind a tree. Curiosity pulled me forward. There I saw a man who was meditating, sitting calmly by a small fire while food cooked nearby. His presence felt calm, steady, untouched by urgency or regret. I bowed instinctively. When he opened his eyes, his voice was gentle and clear. "Who are you, my friend?" he asked, "and why does your heart look so heavy?" I told him everything. My habit of postponing, the years I had wasted, the failure that now defined me. He listened without interrupting, without judgment. Then he nodded slowly and said, "Let me share a story with you. Perhaps it will help you understand." He began. In a small village beside a river, there once lived a poor fisherman. Every morning, long before sunrise, he walked the same familiar path toward the water, carrying only his net. This routine had shaped his life for many years. One morning, darker than usual, the sky was hidden behind thick clouds. There was no moon, no stars, only silence. As he walked along the narrow path, his foot struck something on the ground. He bent down and picked up a small cloth sack. It felt unusually heavy, as if it were filled with stones. Thinking it might belong to a child, he carried it with him to the riverbank. There, he sat down and waited for the sun to rise. The river itself could not be seen in the darkness, but its gentle sound filled the air. To pass the long, silent hours, I opened the sack and reached inside. My fingers closed around what felt like a simple stone, smooth, cold, ordinary. Without stopping to think, I tossed it into the river. The splash echoed softly, and for some reason, it soothed me. I picked up another and threw it, then another. Each sound brought a strange calm, as if the river was slowly quieting my restless mind. As I kept throwing them one by one, my thoughts drifted inward. I began reflecting on my life, my struggles, my worries, the questions I never answered, the time I never understood. While my hands kept moving, the sky above me slowly began to change. The heavy darkness started to lift. Shapes formed. The river became visible. Dawn was approaching. I reached into the sack again. This time, my hand touched only one object. I lifted it, ready to throw it like all the others. But at that exact moment, the first ray of sunlight touched it, and suddenly it shimmered. My heart stopped. This was no stone. It was a diamond. My hands began to shake. In panic, I turned the sack upside down. Nothing fell out. It was empty. In the darkness, without knowing it, I had thrown every diamond into the river. I dropped to my knees on the riverbank, staring at the flowing water. In a few careless hours, I had lost a fortune, something that could have completely changed my life. For 4 long hours, I stayed there, angry at myself, cursing my blindness and ignorance. Then slowly, a wiser thought rose within me. I looked at the single diamond still resting in my palm and whispered, "At least I still have one." This one diamond still held immense value. If I used it wisely, it could still transform my life. With acceptance in my heart and clarity in my mind, I stood up and returned home. That evening, Michael looked directly into my eyes and spoke calmly. "You see, my friend," he said, "every one of us carries a sack full of diamonds. Each moment of our life is priceless. But when we live in ignorance, we throw those moments away as if they were ordinary stones." He paused, letting his words sink in. Your life is no different from that fisherman's story. You also wasted time, believing it had little value. And now, that time cannot be reclaimed. Then his voice softened. But just as the fisherman still held one diamond, you still have time left. If you use it wisely, you can rebuild everything. Never forget this. Time is as precious as diamonds. His words stayed with me. If time was wasted in the past, the lesson is not regret, it is action. Stop wasting what still remains. This story teaches a powerful truth. Time is the most valuable currency we will ever own, yet we spend it as if it costs nothing. The fisherman's story proves that transformation is possible at any stage of life. The key is realizing that every wasted hour is a diamond lost forever. When we look honestly at ourselves, we see how often we treat our time like worthless stones. We scroll endlessly on our phones. We delay important decisions. We postpone our dreams, believing tomorrow will always come. But time, once gone, never returns. The moment you truly understand that every second is a diamond, everything changes. You stop waiting for the perfect moment because you realize this moment is already perfect. You stop saying, "I'll do it tomorrow," because you understand that tomorrow is often just an illusion. Anything that matters can only be done now. The beauty of this story is that your dawn has not passed yet. You still have diamonds left in your sack. The real question is simple. Will you keep throwing them away, or will you begin valuing every moment and using it wisely? The difference between those who achieve their dreams and those who don't is clear. Successful people treat their time like diamonds. Others treat it like stones. So if you truly want to change your life, start respecting your time today. Stop postponing what matters. Live with awareness, act with purpose, because every diamond you protect today shapes the life you will live tomorrow.